Respected Dharma Masters, fellow practitioners, and guests of this YouTube channel, Amitofo. Today's talk is karma, a misunderstood concept. Oftentimes here in the West, many people believe in what they think is the law of karma. And sadly, oftentimes I hear people say, well, karma is a expletive. Or they rejoice in the sufferings of others. And they say, well, that's because of their karma. What is karma? Is it a vindictive, sentient force? No. My dear friends, karma is simply the law of cause and effect. If I cast a pebble into a lake, that is the cause, dropping the pebble. When the pebble reaches the water, it will ripple. That is the effect. Karma is nothing more than the law of cause and effect. It is not a sentient being that seeks to punish. And indeed, in the West, karma has become synonymous with the word punishment. So, how should one view karma? From a right view, from a Buddhist perspective. Again, karma is not a sentient force that seeks to punish bad and reward good. No. Karma is, as I said before, the law of cause and effect. It is as simple as this, and yet extremely profound. In the West, karma has become synonymous with the word punishment, although this is wrong view. In the West, there are numerous books that are written on one's past lives. Karma and one's past lives are interlinked. What I do today is what I will be tomorrow. What I was yesterday, I will be today. My dear friends, what we do now, the seeds that we sow now in this birth, will determine our status in our next lives. Are we compassionate, loving, kind, tolerant, and enduring hardships in this life? If so, my dear friends, if we firmly recite Amitofo, we dedicate merits and we make vows to be reborn in Amitabha's Pure Land, that will be our effect. The causes that we have sown in this birth, the effect will be, at the moment of our death, Amitabha Buddha, Guanyin Pusa, Da Shizhi Pusa, Guanyin Bodhisattva, Da Shizhi Bodhisattva, Amitabha Buddha, and the heavenly host of the Pure Land will meet us and escort us to the Pure Land in the West, where we will be reborn into lotus flowers, become bodhisattvas, and eventually become Buddhas. Or will we continue on this path, in this samsara, caught up in the cycle of birth and death? We repay anger with anger, insult with insult. My dear friends, when you look at this, from the point of view of a bodhisattva or a Buddha, it is a sad state of affairs. You anger me today. I, in return, hold malice, and I say harmful words to you. In the next life, that will continue. We have all known each other before. The malice and the anger that we have harbored from past births carry on to this. In order to break the cycle of birth and death, we should correct our karma in this life. I have stated many times, and indeed, the Buddha before me has stated many times, indeed, it is exceedingly hard to obtain a human birth, and even more hard in that human birth to come into contact with the teachings of a Buddha. My dear friends, you have heard the Dharma preached. You are disciples of the Buddha. You should act like disciples of the Buddha. And how do we do that? We watch after our karma in this life. It is simple for me to give you examples of how to do this, but it is extremely difficult to practice. Many times a day do we fail in guarding against our karma. But if we constantly keep the name Amitofo, 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 Amitofo in our minds, constantly reciting the Buddha name, making vows to be reborn into the Western Pure Land, attaining Buddhahood so that we may save not only ourselves, but sentient beings, we are watching after our karma. Many volumes in the West have been written about one's past lives. While this is an interesting subject, it is not necessary, as disciples, children of the Buddha, to know who we were in our past lives. What is important, what we face now in this birth, has a direct relation to what we did in our past life. Is it important to know that we were a great scholar? No. Were we a military man? No. None of that is important. And indeed, what we did in our past lives are not important for us to remember. However, it is important in this life. We cannot change what we did in the past. We can and should change what we do in the present. So, my dear friends, disciples and children of the Buddha, today, make a firm resolution to yourself and to the Buddha. From today, I will redouble my efforts to correct my karma, to practice meritorious deeds, to hold right view, to recite the holy name of Amitabha Buddha, and I will make a vow to be reborn into the Pure Land, Shukavati, into the Western Pure Land, after this birth, and in one lifetime I will achieve Buddhahood. If we do this, my friends, we will discover that the trials and tribulations in this life become insignificant. When we are greeted with something that should be a cause of great joy for normal people, we will treat it the same as something that would cause normal people to have great despair. Joy and despair are relative and illusionary in this world of samsara. When we are caught in the cycle of birth and death, when we realize that true Dharma is no Dharma. True thought is no thought. When we recite Amitofo, when we realize we are calling to the Buddha, at the same time Amitabha Buddha is calling our name. We call upon his name, he calls upon ours, and we meet in the middle. He leads us to the Pure Land with Guanyin Husa, Da Shizhe Husa. When we realize this, we become liberated. But for now, watch your karma. Karma is the natural law of cause and effect. Any other flowery language only expounds upon this simple principle. Do we foster negative, hateful, resentful thoughts towards our fellow sentient beings, even those that wish us harm, even those that have committed the 5 grave offenses? Should we be angry with them because they have spit upon a Buddha, or they have denied the Dharma? No, my dear friends. You are thinking like ordinary people. If we think like bodhisattvas and like Buddhas, we would realize and have pity and compassion. We would not become angry because they have defamed our religion. They have hurt the name of the Buddha. No. They have harmed themselves, most importantly. And that is truly a sad thing. And for that we should have compassion. We should not become angry. When you realize this, and when you begin to correct your bad actions, your bad karma, at that point, you will become that much closer to becoming a bodhisattva and seeking rebirth into the Pure Land after this life, where in one lifetime you will become a Buddha and you will achieve Buddhahood. Use the bodhisattvas as a yardstick for yourself. Where do you measure on that yardstick? That, my dear friends, shall be your starting point. If you do not measure up to the level of a bodhisattva, that is the goal to strive for in this life. May you be diligent in the recitation of the Buddha name Amitofo, and may you guard against your karma. As always, I hope this talk has helped you. If it has, I would love to hear comments. If you have any questions, please comment below on the video in this channel. Indeed, if you have any questions about Buddhism, and specifically Chinese Pure Land Buddhism, please send me an email or message me on this YouTube channel or on my Facebook. May Buddha bless you. May you achieve birth in the Pure Land. Amitofo.